Lunar December 5th of January, 2025, to 3rd of February, 2025. Cold predisposition. Those born after August and before the 6th of March of the following year in Western calendar after the beginning of autumn and before Jingji in lunar calendar. Hot predisposition. Those born after the 6th of May and before the 8th of August in Western calendar after the beginning of summer and before the beginning of autumn in lunar calendar. Neutral predisposition. Those born after the 6th of March and before the 6th of May in Western calendar after Jingji and before the beginning of summer in lunar calendar. The Dragon. You take it easy in the first half of the month, but you have to work hard for money afterwards. The workload gets heavy all of a sudden in the second half of the month, and you can feel the stress level rising right before Chinese New Year. Your body is also sending you the signals. Worse still, the Chinese New Year comes early this year so that there are fewer working days for you to get your work done. Of course, that would crank up the stress big time. To cope with the stress, try your best to recuperate and take lots of rest in the first half of this month. Hopefully, you're in better shape to brace yourself for the upcoming stress, without ruining your mood for Chinese New Year holidays. You take it easy, and then you work hard. That's the way it is. In the first half of the month, the workload is minimal and it's only natural that you're not making any extra. In the second half of the month, the workload gets extremely heavy, so that entrepreneurs and those self-employed may reap some handsome income before the Chinese New Year. Although the stress ratchets up, your income also grows proportionately. That's enough to give your stress tolerance a big boost. There isn't any sign of conflicts or disagreement. But it's not your month of relationship either. You're not in particularly good terms with people, but you don't need to worrying about arguing with your significant other when the two of you discuss your holiday plans. However, single dragons aren't likely to find someone special. Just plan ahead and spend your Chinese New Year holidays with your friends or family. It's a month of prevailing gastrointestinal infection and the dragons should pay extra attention to your diet. This is especially true in the second half of the month, when you're under immense stress at work. If you're not cautious, the stress may worsen your symptoms and ruin your holiday mood. The Snake. The workload is still heavy and you'd have to work hard in the first half of the month. This is good news to those self-employed as you can work harder and reap more profit before the year draws to a close. As the Chinese New Year comes later this year, there will be fewer working days so that you feel the stress even more. But your bank manager will smile when he sees what you've made. Entrepreneurs also do well as you're likely to collect some outstanding payments from clients in the second half of the month. You'd have a bit more budget to plan your Chinese New Year holidays. Both entrepreneurs and those self-employed are entitled to their share of extra income. Only wage earners are getting their usual paychecks. Hopefully, your company has performed well this year with skyrocketing profit and is willing to share it with its employees as bonus. Otherwise, expect to just make what you usually make, while bracing yourself for the extra expenses before Chinese New Year. You're still in hidden union with the monthly constellation and your love life is still rock solid. As Christmas, New Year and Chinese New Year are jammed together, the two of you have plenty of time to get to know each other. But I have bad news for single snakes. Just like last month, you may have a crush on someone when you travel. It's not likely to be a real relationship. Of course, you may still let him, her know how you feel as you have nothing to lose. Take initiatives to talk to him, her and make friends to begin with. Otherwise, you may regret that you've done nothing when you're back home. The workload gets heavy all of a sudden, but your body is more than able to handle it. After Christmas and New Year, you've recuperated and you're in peak shape. Despite the overwhelming workload before Chinese New Year, I'm sure you can cope just fine without falling sick. The Horse. You have to work hard for money on your own still. But the situation is quite a bit better than last month. You were in conflicts with the monthly constellation in lunar November and you're bothered by more gossips that hold you back in terms of progress. This month you're not in any disagreement with the monthly constellation. Of course, it's not your month of relationship or union, so that you're not in particularly good terms with people. but you'll get along with them much better than last month when you're in conflicts. You can work in full swing right after the Christmas and New Year holidays to strive for more. Then you can have an affluent Chinese New Year. You have to work hard for money on your own. Those self-employed may still try your best to reap more wealth. Entrepreneurs have more chances to meet with clients when you're busy. You'll have a better chance of closing profitable deals as a result. Of course, your income will grow accordingly. The month of conflicts was over and your love life is back to normal. It's not your month of relationship or union, so that the two of you won't be lovey-dovey. But you're not going to argue over the most trivial issues either. You can discuss calmly about your Chinese New Year holiday plan and then enjoy yourselves to the fullest during the holidays. It's a month of prevailing gastrointestinal infection. A virus that causes diarrhea is rampant. Thus, you should be cautious about your diet. In fact, the horse is not among the high-risk zodiacs. But you might as well attend more dinners and events as the year is drawing to a close. If you're not cautious, you may get involved in others' bad luck. The goat. You slack off at first. Then you work hard. That's just the way it is. The workload is still minimal right after Christmas and New Year. But in the second half of the month, the workload gets heavy all of a sudden. Luckily, you can cope just fine because you've recuperated well enough during the holidays. The workload doesn't add to your stress. You'd feel stimulated and invigorated instead. Of course, entrepreneurs and those self-employed aren't threatened by the workload. You'd actually enjoy the busy time. The fact that you'd reap more wealth after working hard is enough to keep you going. Not only will you have enough energy and strength to handle your work, but also spare time on planning your Chinese New Year holidays. The workload gets heavy in the second half of the month. Those self-employed will benefit most directly. Your income will grow as you get busy. Entrepreneurs also do well as you'll spend more time with your clients and boost your chance of closing profitable deals. Of course, your luck of wealth also gets better. It's your month of relationship and the two of you are likely to fight. When you discuss your holiday plans, be ready to budge in times of disagreement. Otherwise, your holiday mood will be spoiled if no one is giving way. Single goats should plan your holidays with your family and friends. Or else, you may have to be all alone while others are having fun. It's a month with high risk of gastrointestinal infection. You're also in conflicts with the monthly constellation. Thus, you're susceptible to problems related to your digestive tract. The workload is heavy in the second half of the month, and you start to feel nervous as you're desperate to get over with it and enjoy your holidays. That would stress you out and worsen your symptoms.